Hey, this is Scott from Coffeeprops, and we are speaking with Jake Budler. Jake, we are glad that you're here. We're going to talk about what you've done recently and how you get into coffee. But first of all, tell us, what was it that brought you into coffee? What's your story?
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So kind of getting into coffee actually, in Cape Town, in South Africa where I went to high school. I had some friends of mine now started a coffee roastery called Flat Mountain. And I actually started serving coffee at my high school originally, before even having a storefront or anything. And, so I had good coffee there and, kind of did a little bit of work at Flat Mountain kind of years after that. Hung out there a lot and kind of from there started exploring the Cape Town coffee scene, which is quite a good one. And got really into specialty coffee from there.
Well, now you're saying Flat Mountain. Do they have an Instagram account as well?
Yeah, they have a Instagram as well. I think it is Flat Mountain _roasters, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well, we'll verify that, and a shout out to Flat Mountain.
Yeah,
I believe I've followed you on Instagram on your account. I think you've put some fantastic pictures on your account. And,
Thank you.
They have a pretty good account as well.
Yeah, no, they definitely do.
So, you got into the coffee scene, and what is it that you do related to coffee or not related to coffee? What does Jake do?
So mostly I'm an enthusiast. I'd put it. I kind of enjoy learning about all different aspects of coffee, from production through to roasting through to brewing and extraction. So I'm more or less just an enthusiast, but I mostly really have enjoyed and gotten into kind of manual and home brewing. Loved getting an AeroPress. I think that's probably the first thing that I got that really got me into making my own coffee at home. And then from there, kind of having an AeroPress, I started kind of traveling with it and taking it around with me places. And kind of got into then a lot more of like some kind of travel coffee brewing, but really outdoor, brewing outdoors, kind of camping, traveling. I studied a semester in Botswana, and did a lot of kind of backpacking and camping, and always had my AeroPress with me. And so I kind of really got into that, and that's kind of what I have an Instagram account as well, Outdoor Brewing, that I run, not super well, but I really enjoy doing that and kind of seeing other people's experience of coffee outdoors and while they're traveling and camping and doing all kinds of fun activities, and seeing where people take their AeroPresses is pretty crazy. And even more crazy is when people take the pour-overs or the Chemex or something, up a mountain.
Right.
Yeah, that impresses me.
Yeah. I brought a AeroPress on a business trip one time. That's about as crazy as I've gotten. What is the craziest location that you've ever seen an AeroPress being used?
That I've ever seen, man, I'd have to probably go check out Instagram. There's been a couple of really good, people that are on top of a mountain and you're making a coffee. That always is like, first of all, the dedication to lug equipment up there that you don't really need. And then you take a great picture as well. Yeah.
That's coffee dedication, right?
I think so. For sure.
So, as you think about the entire coffee process, all the way from the farmer, starting off with the farmer, producer, exporter, importer, roaster, brewer, drinker, in that whole process and your experience, if you could change anything, what would you change in the coffee industry?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think so. What I've seen recently, I guess more and more so in the last year or two, there's been a lot more kind of increased knowledge and more awareness and information available about coffee. So kind of at a consumer end, knowing about how it was roasted, and then how it was produced and where it was made and who made it. I think kind of all of those different people along the way, knowing about the other people as well, because through the whole process. And I've seen that a little bit more, but I would say kind of continuing to build on that and increase that knowledge and increase the awareness along that chain, I think from every step, if that makes sense. Like me, I guess I'm the coffee drinker, I'm the final person there. But I like knowing, and I'd like to know more about who roasted it and how they roasted it, who produced it and how they did that, kind of the shipping, not necessarily the specifics of that, but the whole life of that coffee. And it probably, sometimes it can be within a couple of months, from the time it was picked to the time you're drinking. It doesn't necessarily take all that long.
Right.
So I'd say that people are really working towards improving that information and knowledge, and I'd love to see that happen even more.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and I bet that you're a representative of a lot of other people who would feel the same way, and just kind of want to know, what does the farmer even look like? What's the process they go through on a day by day basis? So that's cool. So, what is your all-time favorite coffee drink? I think I know what it is based on our conversation, but if there's only one coffee, what would it be?
I was thinking about that because I've had some really good different kind of coffee drinks. But if I could be anywhere having any coffee drink, it would be just a cappuccino at Flat Mountain. That would be the standard. If traveling, anytime I'm out and about, an AeroPress, perfect. But since I don't have a beautiful espresso machine and a professional grade grinder, when I have that available, I'd love to take advantage of it and have a cappuccino.
Yeah.
And also not made by myself. My barista abilities are low at best.
You just know what you like, right?
I know what I like. Flat Mountain, there's a barista. They've got one guy named Gosh who works, and he is fantastic and knows exactly how to pour a cappuccino.
Well, before I let you go, take us into the Flat Mountain coffee shop that you go into. Can you describe the atmosphere? For those of us who will likely never get to South Africa or Cape Town, what is it like to step into a coffee shop in South Africa?
Yeah, well, first of all, it is worth the trip. Not only for Flat Mountain, but there's some other fantastic roasters and coffee shops, and a great coffee culture that it is definitely worth it. But where Flat Mountain is specifically is kind of a semi-industrial small area outside of the city a little bit, and it really has that local feel where there's definitely a good regular base, which I really appreciate in a coffee shop. There's some other shops in I don't know, not necessarily in Cape Town, but places in bigger areas that have more people through, and it doesn't have the same kind of slow atmosphere in some ways, with some regulars and, a couple of people sitting and doing some work. And, so that kind of feel, small feel, I love, and so Flat Mountain, they've got the roaster in the back. So I love anytime there's roasting around. I love the smell of roasting coffee. And that's on site, which is fantastic. I love that. There's also a very famous couch that makes its way around Instagram that used to be yellow and it's been reupholstered and now is a shade of light blue, but perfect for Instagram photos. It makes it all over my Instagram. so there's that. And then they've got a very iconic couch, the most iconic couch that I know in the coffee world. And then they've got a beautiful espresso machine, kind of the classic lever-operated machine that I really like. It kind of gives you more control, just kind of that added element of control as a barista working. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's cool. That I can picture that. As you're talking about it, I can picture being there. So maybe I'll have to somehow arrange a trip to South Africa and
there are many fantastic roasters that are doing really good stuff. There's a coffee shop called Truth Coffee that is recognized. There's a little bit more famous around the world. They have the coolest coffee shop you'll ever go to, kind of a steampunk inspired.
Cool.
Very hot feel, fantastic, awesome place to go.
Yeah. Well, good. Jake, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule and sharing with us a little bit about your life and what brought you to coffee, and a little bit about the Cape Town coffee scene. We're going to hang on, to, keep following you on Instagram, and hope you do the same. And,
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right.
Yeah, I will. All right. Have a good one.